Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Test Chamber. I'm Dan Tack, and I've got Ben Hanson with me today.
Hello, Daniel Tack.
And we are taking a look at Orcs Must Die Unchained.
Or anything else on this desktop, really. It all looks fascinating.
It's good stuff, isn't it?
It really is.
So this is in beta right now, so stuff might change, but basically this is a really interesting take on sort of the MOBA genre.
Sort of the MOBA genre, which is the new subset of the MOBA genre.
Sure, it's very different. So it has a deck building component. So right now we're looking at a deck that we're just going to bring into it. So you pick traps that you can lay down to take care of enemy minions.
Right.
You actually pick your own minion kit.
Minion kit.
Sure.
Okay, so I've played previous Orcs Must Die, so I'm very familiar with traps, but the idea of minion kit seems bizarre.
So during the course of the game, I'm going to be selecting different tiers of minions to send out to destroy the opposing base. So sort of like creating the creep wave in a traditional MOBA.
Has anybody else done that?
No.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, this kind of stuff was sort of popular back in the old Warcraft 3 mod days.
Right.
So while Dota and other games were becoming big, there was also this other subset of games that it was more minion focused, where you'd actually have to upgrade your barracks and stuff like that to create new kinds of minions. So
sure,
you've got different tier 1 minions, tier 2 minions, etc. So by stage 4 in a game, I'll be putting out these nasty big little brothers, or I just removed it. So this is tougher than we look, or
okay. This all seems cool, but
so these all come into play.
Okay.
So on top of that, you've got your traditional hero.
Right.
I should have saved that probably.
You didn't?
I didn't. I
Okay.
know. It still looks good. All right.
You're
okay.
fine.
Let's get into a game.
Sure. Yeah, but so how much have you played of this game so far?
Just been playing it for about a day-ish.
Okay.
So I don't know how many hours, like 3 or 4 hours.
Okay.
So I'm certainly not pro by any means yet.
But all of your previous MOBA knowledge will carry over directly, and it'll feel like you've played thousands of hours, right?
I would say no. So for one thing, this is sort of this is third person,
right?
So it's got that FPS element to it as well. So it's not isometric like a lot of the MOBAs are.
It's pretty smitey so far.
Yeah, pretty smitey.
Okay,
a lot less abilities than smite on your character.
Okay,
but they sort of make up for that by having 2 very distinct lanes instead of the traditional 3-lane. So
one map or
one map,
huh?
An offensive lane and a defensive lane. So you've got your defenders sort of setting up your traps and taking care of heroes and minions that are trying to invade, and you've got your offensive lane, which is doing the same thing on the other side. So
I'm still curious how the traps will even work in multiplayer. Like, are you just being flung all over the place and just out of control? Because that's all Orcs Must Die is just putting these orcs through these horrible gauntlets.
Right, and this is exactly what they do. So the waves of the minions that players are setting up will have to travel through those gauntlets with assistance from the players. So we can disable the traps or go and trigger them first so they don't hit the minions to get them through to kill traditional base guardians, stuff like that.
So you're not being flung around, just the minions are.
Oh, you're getting hit by the traps too if you're standing in there, and they hurt depending on the trap.
Huh.
Now, different traps have different costs. Like I have some really powerful traps in my deck, but they're really expensive, so I won't be able to put them out early in the game.
Sure.
So I've picked the Sorceress.
Okay. That's the co-op lady from Orcs Must Die 2.
So you can see her skill set here. We've got, sort of a traditional, shooty, right?
Sure.
This one is sort of takes care of me if I'm getting piled on by minions. This one's a blink, which is great because I don't have a whole lot of health, and there's going to be really powerful melee heroes trying to kill me.
Yeah.
So traditional blink. This one is really cool because I can use it offensively or defensively. So it basically sets off all traps, regardless of their cooldowns, that I hit it with it. So if a trap just fired, I can shoot that out, and any traps it hits automatically trigger again. So I can use it on my own traps to set up sort of a death trap. They trigger once, they trigger twice. That's a ton of damage coming through for a big burst.
Sure.
And if I'm on offense, I can wait for my my minions to get close to the trap areas, and then trigger all the traps before they go through there.
Okay. Are you mixing and matching heroes, or is it pretty much humans versus monsters?
Oh, no. The heroes are completely independent of any kind of... I mean, we've got all kinds of stuff here from...
Okay, so you can choose a weird Minotaur guy.
Yeah, weird Minotaur guy, rogue cat, gold fire. It's the standard... this is all kind of... Yeah. This is the kind of stuff you expect to see.
I suppose so. What are the other big favorites of yours so far?
I don't have a whole lot of them unlocked yet.
Sure.
So...
That's what has me worried about this game. Like, even in that first menu that you were at, there's so many options, and it's free to play, right?
Yes. Well, I mean, I think it's going to be. Yeah.
It's going to
right
be.
now it's in beta, so
Right. Or do you worry about that transition?
it
to
has
when
a
it's actually
free-to-play
released?
template for sure.
Yeah.
No, the loop is actually really attractive so far. You know, you play a few games, you get a pack of new stuff, make some changes to your deck. Like, they start you off with plenty of materials. Like, they're not significantly better than others. So the spike trap is really useful. For instance, it's cheap and effective early. You can't load your deck up with a bunch of like 2,000 coin costing traps because you'll just get overrun on like the first wave.
Sure.
So you kind of have to balance.
Okay. Is there controller support?
I'm not sure.
Sorry.
I haven't tried.
I know that's the super rookie question to ask, but I remember even Orcs Must Die 2 when it came out, the controller support was a little bit janky. So how big are the teams here?
So it's 5v5.
Okay.
So standard kind of thing there.
Sure.
So if you can look on the map on the right there before the game gets going, you'll see this little 1 blinking over there.
Mm-hmm.
That's our war camp, which is where we're going to go slot our tier 1 minions.
Okay.
Now, if the game goes long, and usually the game will go this long. These are about 25-minute games.
Okay.
The base on the left there can be opened up for leadership points. So there's 2 currencies, leadership and coins. Coins make traps and level your character up, and leadership points make stronger minions and upgrade war camps.
Huh.
So I'm going to put in we're all slotting in our tier 1 units.
Okay.
We're upgrading this war camp so we can get to tier 2.
This is a lot of coordination already.
This is, yeah, it can be very daunting, but the tutorial is actually pretty decent.
Okay. How much in-game chat is there? Do you have to communicate quite a bit with your teammates?
It helps.
But we're not going to during this test chamber?
No, we probably won't be.
Okay. Well, I trust that you know what you're doing
However,
here.
people are claiming that we have 2 bots on our team, which would be unfortunate.
They're not great?
That's awful.
Okay.
We will definitely lose, but that's okay. It'll be over quick.
All right,
for
cool.
a test chamber. So you can see there's some combat happening before waves even come out here.
Uh-huh.
Other teams getting very aggressive. Okay, so let's talk about why you have to get your creeps through. Ooh,
Please.
Nice. So if these gates are very important. If you get your creeps past like 1 gate, you get more resources. So the team that can push harder gets more stuff, basically.
Sure.
So I got some really great money from that little surge. So I've got a really nice trap up already.
And which kind of trap is that? Is it ice?
That's like a laser targeted. No, wait. That's just regular ballista sort of thing, which is really strong actually.
Huh.
It'll auto target and fire at stuff coming through here.
Sure. So is this the type of MOBA-like, do you think, where they're going to stick to one map? Do you know if they've said anything about expanding it?
I don't think
this?
they have, but this seems like it could benefit from more maps. But as always with a MOBA, crafting the first map is more like, you know, creating the football field or the, you know, it's
Sure.
okay to just have one as long as you've got other areas of variety.
Right. It's always a bizarre notion because you watch like Dota games, Dota matches, and it's just overwhelming because I'm not a MOBA guy. It's just overwhelming the amount of stuff that's going on the screen. And with this game, it's like, what if we change your perspective and threw you in the middle of it, and then it's even more overwhelming. I think even Battleborn kind of suffers with that. Once people see gameplay, it's a little bit much, just for the amount of effects flying around, you know.
Yeah, the map feels a little smaller and more intimate. You have certain choke points that are always going to be important here. So,
Okay, so it never feels just overwhelming, the amount of effects that are flying around on the screen and everything?
not really.
Okay,
I'd say much less than an isometric MOBA. There's a lot less going on.
sure. I like the soundtrack, still in place. Nice touch.
So since I died, I lost those cool leadership points I picked up by looting that other opponent.
Okay.
So as you can see, the waves continue to come here. A little timer so you can see when they're going to spawn.
Okay.
I'm closing this door, so even though I won't be able to run away because it's closed, the enemy minions will not be able to get through.
Gotcha.
So that'll prevent us from losing leadership points. Well, giving the other team leadership, I should say.
So would you consider this to be kind of accessible for somebody who's not familiar with MOBAs? Because I'm guessing, I mean, with the genre shift, I'm sure there's a lot of people that just love Orcs Must Die that are going to be trying to get into this.
I'd say it's certainly it's trying to be very unique in the way that it's presenting what is now sort of the standard for a MOBA format.
With just the options you have at the beginning of building your deck and everything?
So with deck building, very distinct offensive and defensive lanes, and the way that a match plays out by enhancing minions and traveling with them.
Sure.
And making decisions about which ones to include in your deck, making decisions about which traps to use, whether you want to... Some teams will just rush right from the start and go all offense to try to get that early boost to win right early on, or you can go for a more balanced strategy.
Right.
As you can see, our opponents here have upgraded to a tier 2 war camp up in the upper left of the map there.
So what does that mean exactly?
It means they're going to have a lot stronger minions coming our way.
Okay.
And we just have a T1 because we have Christy bot and Moe bot.
Oh,
so,
my favorite bots.
Yeah.
Maybe that's like a clan. It's the bot clan, you know?
Well, they're certainly playing like bots. So there's a big variety in traps, and you can set up combos and stuff like...
Okay.
You know, you could put some things here that would make them take extra heat damage.
Right, right.
And so then we walk over these tiles and get really hurt.
I guess what has me a little bit worried about it is part of the thrill of the first 2 Orcs Must Die games are just like setting up the traps and then sitting back and just watching the chaos unfurl like in front of you with the AI. But I feel like you're going to set up the traps and then it's just this. It's just this rainbow on the screen.
Yeah, that's definitely not the case here. You can't just set up traps. It's not sort of that kind of tower defense feel.
Right.
But it's sort of integrating the trap style into what we've come to think of as a MOBA.
Sure. So what do you think? Is this a good move for Robot?
I'm definitely not at the point where I can make a verdict on this.
Sure.
This is beta, and I haven't played it a ton.
But tackling this idea of bringing this concept
But I really
into
like
MOBA.
the fact that this just isn't, here are 3 lanes, push these lanes and level up.
Right.
I'm glad they're doing something different.
Sure. So in terms of popular MOBAs out there, obviously League, Dota, and then is Smite number 3, or what is that number 3 slot?
I'm not sure if Smite commands the number. I think it probably does.
Okay.
I mean, it does for me, certainly.
Sure.
Because it really was the first to sort of bring in the third person. I mean, it wasn't technically the first when you get Super Monday Night Combat, but it was it's a major player in there.
Sure.
And they've done a great job, actually, with that one. Just bringing in fun stuff, new maps, and that one really does benefit from different map styles. Like there's an arena in Smite where it's just sort of a 5v5 deathmatch. So if you don't care about lane pushing, you can just jump into that. It's over in 15 minutes.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right. That sounds cool. It's just I feel like I think we got a lot of this with our Battleborn cover too, but there's just a certain backlash to the concept of MOBAs. I think a lot of the internet just sees it as like, oh well, of course they're making gazillions with the top 2 games, so now there's going to be this crazy land rush, just like there was with WoW clones and everything. And so people, even when this was announced, I think were a little bit skeptical.
Certainly, and I won't say there's no reason for that. There are so many MOBAs coming out, and they're all following in it. I think it has something to do with free-to-play sort of coming up along with it. So these games just really lend themselves to free-to-play models. You know, you've got a ton of characters and customizations, and you've got a whole smattering of different things you can grab, you know? So
I like the animation of his foot there. Yeah. I hope that's not a glitch, and that's actually the death animation. That's
probably
a really nice touch.
That's probably the death animation. So they now have this game is beyond over, right? And it's because we had the bots.
I see.
So we're now creeps are coming into the this thing right here. So when 20 go in, game's over.
We should stop talking and learn to play, Daniel.
I'm trying.
All right. I'm ready for this wave. I'm a big Robot fan. Robot Entertainment, which is the studio that made this, just because I was a huge Ensemble fan, and it's kind of the spiritual successor studio to Ensemble. But I love that they just have such a consistent art style. Across every game they've made, it's always that bubbly, cartoony look, even back to like Age of Empires Online.
And I know I see tons of it's like every game's being like cartoony now, and but
what's wrong with that? What else do you want?
It looks good. See, I'm actually letting these go in here. We need this game to be over.
Oh no.
I mean, this is a really bad mismatch. Okay, like it's not even funny.
That's all right. It just shows off the environments and whatnot.
It does. I mean, it's because we had bots. But so here's the offensive lane. If we were coming out, I'll show the.
Sure.
I'll just show we'll stand here and wait for the next wave.
Okay.
We have some tier 2 minions slotted up. You can look up in the top right next to your hero portraits.
Sure.
You can see that Moebot has a tier 2 soldier unit queued up at this war camp. Christybot still has a tier 1 unit. Lord Torch has a tier 1 unit, and Drogash has a tier 1 unit. So basically, we're sending out garbage.
Okay.
I've upgraded mine to T2, but this is going to do nothing.
That's all right.
Let me just put it that way.
It'll be our own little judgment day here. It'll be fun.
We might actually lose before we even get to go on a romp out to their traps.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
If you look
I
at
trust the bots. They can hold that last stand.
They're having trouble against those tier 3s, it looks like.
They're doing okay.
Oh, no. This is bad.
We only got to get 8 seconds. It's totally fine.
Well, we're about to lose. Yeah, it's over.
Really?
Look at the screen, man. Like down at the bottom.
Yeah,
right.
they're just, they're having a good time. Okay. We're good, right? We can go on this run?
The wave is spawning.
Yeah, let's go.
So you can see each come as a... Oh.
Perfect.
Well, it was a...
Effing bots.
It was a good attempt. It was a noble attempt.
Yeah, I think that works. Cool. Well, thanks for showing off this beautiful game here, Daniel.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty interesting. So it's in beta right now, and I have no idea when the launch date is. But
you think it's coming soon? Have they had any hints towards it?
Not sure.
Okay, cool. Yep. Well, we'll post it in the story and let people know what the latest update is.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks for watching, everybody.